Thank you all for coming to this third annual men's tie ceremony. I'm so happy that you all can make it. It's a very momentous occasion, whether you know that or not. You know, for some students, one semester is a semester too long. So every checkpoint that you have, every milestone that you reach in college is something that we want to celebrate. So my name is Alvin Roberts. I'm the Director of Diversity and Multicultural Affairs here at Dayton College, and I'm somehow the MC. So, you know, we'll roll with that. We have a really nice program for you today. We really want to celebrate these guys and make sure you know who they are and what they strive for in their everyday lives. So we will get started, and I want to bring first, well, prior to that, I want to acknowledge first all of our colleagues who are here from the Arthur O. Eve Higher Education Opportunity Program, from the Office of Admissions, Career Services, Academic Support, your fellow HEOP students who are here to clap for you. And there will be others who will come in shortly, but know that they are here to support you. So again, we'll get started, and I want to bring up Mr. Lamarck Shaw, Associate.
I thought you were going to make me feel like a rock star for a minute. All right, so let's make sure this works first, and I see that it's not. Let's try it again. All right, Alvin, you're on again. All right. So first, I just want to thank everyone for being here. Wow, you could have been doing so many other things. Thank you very much. And I know Beverly is really watching us. Well, so I really need you to act like you're having an incredible time, right? So we're talking about ties, and you see that we have a basket of ties here. So I just want to talk about the history and the purpose of these ties that you see here, right? So the tie ceremony was introduced to the HEOP program 2015 by Beverly Wicks, the director of the program. And the purpose is to encourage academic excellence, of course, and strong character and responsible leadership. So let's talk about the history of the ties, of a tie just in general. So ties have been a symbol of social rank, of course, right? By the way, what is that type of tie called? Can anyone tell me? Rock. Woo! You got it. Guys, you can't let the girls out. No, just kidding. All right, so absolutely, ties have been a symbol of social rank, also fashion, right? What about that, huh? I started to put a picture of me with my tie on. And also uniforms, right? So ties, we're talking about the history of ties. And we're looking at the progression and the history of trends and so on and so forth. So it's interesting, though, efforts have been made to link trends in the economy to ties. So think about that for a minute. Is it possible, do ties really get wider when the economy is booming? Is that possible? I'm not sure about that, but by the way, the current trend is what? Trend is the skinny tie, right? So not quite sure how all that works out. But no one inflicts that type of philosophy on shoes. They don't think about shoes and shirts and hats the same way they see the tie. So why neckties? Why neckties? Well, the answer is pretty clear. Ties have an air of mystery and romance to neckties. It makes a statement about the person, right? So I'd like to share with you some of the symbols that the way I see the neckties, and I really want to introduce this to you just from a few different perspectives and how we can view the necktie. Alvin, you've been messing with my papers up here, huh? You sabotaged my speech. I'll get you back with this, Alvin. All right, so we're talking about the symbols of the tie. So for those who wear the ties, they symbolize a celebration of color. Look at that. For those that manufacture the ties, you know, look what it symbolizes, just different emotions and so on and so forth. Not that any one of you would even wear any of these ties, right? And I certainly wouldn't expect you to wear these ties at a job interview, right? So the tie can actually represent a multitude of just different things. For the person that, if this would actually work, this thing is not going to batteries are dying. All right, so we're going to have Alvin on the IT over there. Oh, there it is, Alvin. All right, so we're back. Sorry about the inconvenience. All right, so we're talking about the ties and what it represents. And what I was sharing with you is what the tie symbolizes in the first place. So for the person that's looking at the tie from the perspective of the wearers, of course, it's a celebration of beauty and color. For the person that manufactures it, it represents inventory, right? For the commission salesperson, it represents what? Cash, profit. It represents commission, and so on and so forth. We're talking about the history of the tie, and now we're talking about what it symbolizes, what it means to you. And I really want the HEOP class, if you don't mind, just the gentleman to stand up just for a moment, please. We're here to celebrate you today. And this ceremony, we hope that you would see the significance of this tie and that you would wear it in a certain way. So I want to share with you guys, you're going to block this a little bit, everyone won't be able to see that. So I do apologize for that. So, but this tie represents expectations for me. Can you look at me for a moment? That's what it represents. This is what I expect from you as your HEOP CFE 101 instructor. So the first is be persistent, right? That's what this tie represents, that persistency. Just hanging in there. I know sometimes you're going to be up late studying, sometimes you're going to have papers to write, and there's going to be all sorts of challenges, right? So you have to be persistent. These are the 4 expectations that I have for you, right? All right, so what does number 2 say? I know this is a little awkward, but read that for me. It says what?
Do not allow any barriers to stop you.
Wow, that was pretty good. I didn't think they would do that. I can't get my kids to do anything. Do not allow any of the barriers to stop you. Do not allow any barriers to stop you. Look at me for a moment. Do not allow any barriers to stop you, okay, no matter what they may be. It may seem impossible, but consider your options. Set goals. Stay focused. Number 3 says what?
Be your own person.
Be your own person. I know Jim Kelly didn't actually make this quote up, but he actually said, show me your friends, and I'll show you your future. So be your own person. Don't let anyone impact your behavior in a negative way, of course. Right? Finally, it says what?
Study like your life depends on it.
You know what? Because it does. Right? It does. The decisions that you make today are very impactful. You have to study, sometimes even past, the times that, you don't expect to study. Maybe it's 3, 4. I don't know what it is. I don't know how you schedule or block out your study time, but make sure that you study like your life depends on it. Thank you very much. You can have a seat now. So I only have 10 pages to read here, so Alvin said that I can have 45 minutes of our 50 minutes. So I'll do my best to make sure I don't put you to sleep too much. But I want to share a couple of things with you real quick before I shut my mouth and sit down. Uh-oh, sorry. All right, so I would like to finish with a quote from John Elmore. The gentleman presented in one of our classes, and he's from the law offices of Stephen Boyd. Look what John once said, your decisions today may impact people that are not even born. Think about that. He was referring to your kids, your grandkids. Think about how your decisions, your actions, your behaviors, the things that you do will impact people that are not even born. That's an incredible thought. But it also puts an enormous amount of focus and pressure on you to make sure you achieve those 4 expectations. Those are the expectations that I have for you. I'm sure you can achieve that, right? Yes? 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 All right, say it like you mean it. All right, so of course Alvin's not going to let me read all 10 pages, but I would like to just end on just that quote. Just understand that your decisions, the things that you do today, the things that you don't do, all of those things, of course, will impact people that are not even born. So think about your kids, right? Your kids' kids, and how the decisions that you make today will impact folks that are not even born. I think that's an incredible thought, and certainly it would motivate me. I've come to the conclusion that I cannot motivate you. It's a sad statement, right? But not really, because I know that I can provide the stimulus that you can use to motivate yourself. I know that. So if I can provide enough stimulus, either through my expectations of you or some of the things that we talk about in class, I believe that you'll take that with you, and that will motivate you to achieve all of those expectations. I believe in you, so I hope you believe in you. Alvin's hands at this point.
So up next, I want to bring, on your program it says student speaker, but there are actually two speakers. First, I would like to bring Jordy Fernandez, a second-year HEOP student, just to say a brief, some brief words to you all. These words are for you, young men in the front. And then following Jordy, we'll have Tamir Bennett, who's also a second-year HEOP student, to say a few words. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, how are you guys doing? All right. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Jordy Fernandez, and my major is English. I'm also a sophomore, so that means I'm not only just family to you guys, but I'm only one step ahead of you guys. That doesn't mean anything. That just means that I'm slightly wiser. They're saying that you must come to me. And everyone else for some knowledge. Okay. So I have a few bullet points to say to you guys about advice. So first of all, plan out your everyday life. You might never know what comes the next day, what will happen now, what will happen in a few minutes, and what will happen afterwards towards life. So it is really crucial because even though if you don't have a structure of what you're going to do, you're always going to be lost. You're never going to understand how you're going to receive the information you need in order to get to point A to point B. If you understand what you're doing, you're always going to be in a path towards success in a way, you know? Anyways, reach out to your upperclassmen. 8 out of 10 times, we will have the advice to help you guys out. It's crucial because not only that, at one point I was lost and I was like, okay. I came in knowing, I was like, all right. Biochem, life, veterinarian, life, animals, life, everything, life. I know what I'm gonna do. Those chem classes, the math classes, I said, nah. So I was like, all right, what am I gonna do? So I only had one choice. Ask my upperclassmen. My upperclassmen had the information. My wiser people had the information. I talked to Mr. Shaw, I talked to Ms. Hamilton, Ms. Weeks, everyone for information because they know what it's like to be a student because they've been through that path before. Other than that, be you guys. Enjoy what it means to be a student because this is your first and last time to be a freshman. This is my message to the new members of joining our family. Stay strong, always be productive, and repeat it over and over.
Tamir, you ready?
I'm as nervous as y'all guys. But my colleague Jordy, he made a lot of valid points. But my experience in Damon is different from his because everybody's experience in Damon varies based on your personality and what you believe in. So the way I would describe the struggles of college, it sucks. But it gives us the motivation we need as young men to progress into being adults. Our goal should be to show our mothers the men that they made and show what we became during college to when we graduate. So understand the journey that you guys have chosen coming to Damon, and make sense of the actions and the bumps in the road that comes with being a Damon College student. Because you can't become who you're going to be by being who you used to be at the same time. So be the art and the canvas of life, and learn from the things your next 4 years have to offer you. Remember this, diamonds aren't just found perfect. They are excavated through the dirt, sweat, and tears of hard work. Then they're cleaned and melted to perfection. You guys are that diamond. Fight to build your perspective of perfection. Shape your edges. Your diamond only shines bright when you made the effort to fight. So that's all.
So up next, these are just some of our, I guess, personal words. You know, I know Jordy said that he's a little bit wiser than you all, but some of us are a whole lot wiser than Jordy, so you're gonna hear that as well. It says on your program, myself and Mr. Shaw, Frank doesn't notice, and I'm also gonna ask him to say a few words as well. Reverend Williams, you can. So, just for me, I don't know if a lot of people on campus know, I was also an HEOP student. It's a proud badge that I wear. I think I might be the only administrator on campus who was an HEOP student. So if anybody can tell you anything about the summer program and everything else that comes along with being an HEOP student, I can. And you know it's not coming from any other place than my own personal experience. Some people might see you as HEOP. They must not know what that program means. HEOP is a means for you to get to where you want to be. It's not who you are. If I don't leave you with anything else, I'll leave you with that. Being in that program allowed me to get to where I am now. It gave me a great opportunity to learn and go to a school that I might not otherwise have been able to attend. So think about those things. Think about the opportunity that you have being in this program in the position that you're in. Because again, a lot of folks, men and women, who want to be in college can't get there for whatever reason. And you are here, so take advantage of that. And if you ever need anything or want to vent, sorry, Ms. Weeks, about the HEOP program, come and talk to me, because I can at least talk you through it. So I just want to leave you with that, and I want to bring up Mr. Shaw. Oh, yeah, Mr. Shaw is here.
I think they heard my boring story already. I do appreciate the young men that we have here today. He's an incredible group of young men, and I'm so proud of them. I tell them all the time. So certainly I can share with you, Alvin was talking about his HEOP experience, and I can talk to you from the experience of just dealing with hurdles and things that you have to deal with in life to be successful, and some of the hurdles that you have to jump over, right, or cross. And certainly, you know, being the first one in my family to go to college and so on and so forth. And my mind often goes back to when we were all young, and my mom, of course, she was handicapped. You heard the story before, right? She fell into the fireplace, burned her hands, and she's taking care of 8 kids with 2 deformed hands. I mean, she's cleaning houses and things like that with 2 deformed hands. So when I think back on that, that's the thing that motivates me the most. I want to make her happy. I mean, she's no longer with us, right? But still, those are the things that motivate me to achieve. So I don't know where that point of motivation is for you. You have to find that, right? You have to kind of search and figure out what's there to keep you focused on your goals. And of course, set some incredible goals, right? Well, look around you. Look at all the people that's supporting you young men today. Isn't that incredible? Look at all the people that are in the audience supporting you. So you certainly have resources. You have not only resources on campus, but you also have people that are here to listen and to support you in any kind of way. So I just want to thank, I know we'll probably do it at the end, but I really do thank everyone for coming out today. I think that this is an important moment, so I'm glad that I'm part of the moment as well. So I'm trying to stall because I see Frank is
Well, actually, DJ would like to say
Okay.
a few words.
absolutely. It's all good, sir.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who do not know me, my name is David Johnson, Associate Director of Admissions here at Damon College. Very, very honored to be here this afternoon. As I look around this room here, I'm privileged to say that I had a lot to do with many of you being here today. And I'm very proud, very, very, very proud of you all. Even to my young ladies in the room, you know, it's you get into this field because you have the passion to change lives. And for me, that has been my dream, that has been my goal ever since I stepped foot into higher education, and I wanted to make a difference in the lives of young people. And this job gave me that opportunity to do so. And to my young men that I've encountered through this journey, I saw something in you from day one. And I knew that you were going to be successful. From the first day, we had a phone conversation, a quick meet and greet at a college fair. I see my poster child in here from a college fair. But you know, you're here because you deserve to be here. No one gave you anything. You're here because you deserve to be here. I'm extremely proud of you. This is only the beginning. You've already beat the odds. You know, you've already beat the odds. The odds say that you shouldn't even be here right now. And you've already beat those odds. So just keep pounding, keep plugging away. Don't never let someone tell you that you cannot be successful. All right, don't let no one tell you that you have to do it this way. Don't be afraid to make your own rules. All right, don't be afraid to make your own rules. I'm proud of you. This is only the beginning, and I'm going to be cheering you on from here on and for the rest of your life. And I'm looking forward to what life has in store for you. Congratulations, and very proud of you.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to take a brief moment to explain some of these pictures here. Alvin did put me in a spot, but he didn't know I always walk around with a flash drive. I've learned my lesson. And I got a sermon in the trunk. But no, in all seriousness, to make a long story short, a lot of times we don't share our own stories, and we keep some of the things that we hold personal, very private. But at the age of 8 years old, I met my father for the first time. I met my father across a table at Attica Correctional Facility. And I didn't know where I was going that morning. My mother said, get dressed, put on your Sunday clothes. So you know you're going somewhere important when they say that. But we drove and drove and drove, and we finally got to Attica Correctional Facility. And the picture on the top left was that summer where at Attica they would have picnics. So you can bring the family and have a picnic with your father, uncle, or whatever. And that was one of the first pictures I've had with him. And you can see throughout some of the pictures here. There's other slides, but I'll just stay with that one, where I grew up visiting my father in prison. So as David just said, many of us are not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be here. I wasn't supposed to go to Fredonia and graduate and then leave Fredonia and go to UB and get a master's, leave there, be in higher ed for 20 years, and then work my way up to be a vice president of room and management at Damon College. I wasn't supposed to be here. And Mr. Shaw said not to let any of those barriers stop you. I was a product of a single parent household. That didn't stop me. I was a product of a father who was never there. That didn't stop me. I was a product of a father who was incarcerated for almost all of my life. That didn't stop me. Through all of that, it wasn't that I had to then repeat a cycle that I grew up in. I then waited, met my wife at the age of 16. Well, my girlfriend at the time. I didn't marry at 16. But we met, we're high school sweethearts going on to get married, had 3 beautiful children, still together, 18 years married. And so all those things that you may be thinking of right now, of reason why you shouldn't be here, reason why you can't continue on, the reason why you want to stop out, push through. Push through. It's going to be those people that may not want you to succeed, or we call those haters. Make the haters your footstool and keep on walking, keep on going. And then lastly, I would say that as you're going through this, you have a huge support system, not only in the faculty and staff, but the brothers here with the white shirts about to get the ties. Look around behind you. You got some strong sisters that are here supporting you. Let's give them a hand. So we can't, you know, keep on going and now acknowledging our sisters and again acknowledging Beverly, because this was an idea that she had and is still going strong. And I thank you. I'm going to turn it back over to Alvin, but again, a lot of times you see me and everyone else walking around here, we all suits and shirts and dresses and blouses, and you think, oh, they must have had it great all their lives. But we also had barriers we had to overcome. So whatever that barrier is in your life, don't let it stop you. Push through, because you do belong here and you will succeed. And I want to see everyone here next year and for the next 3 years or 4 years until you can graduate. If you're in a PT or PA program, to graduate through that, because you can do it. All right.
So before we move into the actual presentation, I guess to close out those reflections and remarks, does anyone know the poem "Don't Quit"? You ever heard this? So I'm going to recite it. Hopefully I don't stumble over my words, but it goes, when the road... I told this myself. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when funds are low and debts are high, when you want to cry, when you have to smile but want to cry, when care presses you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't quit. So that kind of summarizes everything that we've talked about. You can look that up. I memorized that back in college, but it's online. You can find it if you really want it. It's called "Don't Quit." You'll find it. So with that, we'll jump right into the presentations, and I will call you up one by one. We're going to call you up one by one, and we will... Hold on. And what we want to do is, I'm just going to introduce each student that comes up, just to give you a sense of who they are. And Mr. Shaw and Mr. Johnson and Jesus, you can come up if you'd like. We'll put the ties on. So we're going to start off with Kofi. You can come up. So, if you were to speak to Kofi, he'd tell you that he thinks about his goals every single night before he goes to sleep. And while he may not have found or developed the full answer, he could say to you confidently that he wants to impact the world in a positive way while doing something that he loves. And in order to achieve that goal, he really wants to get into pharmaceuticals and helping develop drugs to cure ailments and things that go on in this world. Some things that they tell you can't be cured. His goal is to find that cure. Acknowledging that he has to major in biochemistry and then go through a pharmacy technician program, gaining certification in order to help get to that goal. Kofi will tell you that every day he has to remain focused on that goal and make sure that he's pushing himself to receive the best grades possible. Kofi's family has been a great help to him for his entire life, and he knows that they will be there to continue to support him. And additionally, the friends that he has made in life and those folks that really want him to succeed are going to be his motivation to help him achieve that goal. So let's give it up. So next we have Nick. If you were to speak to Nicholas, he would tell you that his long-term goal is to work for a professional football team as a member of the front office, so GM, president, CEO, something like that, right? And he's going to get to that goal and achieve it by staying in school, getting his master's degree, his MBA, what I'm doing right now, and specializing in sports management. Each day he's going to work hard to get good marks, stay on top of his schoolwork, and really start that networking process as soon as possible to do his best to secure that job that he wants later on in life. He states that his fellow HEOP family is going to help him get to where he needs to be. So you hear that he's calling on you to help him get to his goal of being a front office staff member at a football organization, and also looking for his family and everyone else here to support him in that goal. But most importantly, the person that is going to help him the most is himself. So let's give it up for him. Well, we'll tighten it up. So if you talk to Giovanni, he will tell you as a young African-American male, dreaming of success in life is sometimes difficult due to the color of his skin. Pushing through those obstacles of racial prejudice, profiling, and cultural stereotypes has always been a barrier, and we hope will no longer be a barrier in our lifetimes. He's dreamed of becoming a man with great power and structure, a businessman, a business owner. And to get to that dream, to get to that goal, Giovanni would tell you he has to make sacrifices. The key to any business is making connections and creating loyalty and creating really good relationships. He's begun to connect with a lot of professionals in the arena of business to start that relationship building process. And he will tell you that success does not come overnight if you want to achieve any of your goals. There will be mistakes, but it's how you learn from those mistakes that allows you to move forward. So give it up. So next up we have Anthony. All right, so one of Anthony's long-term goals is that he's always wanted to accomplish is to become an airline pilot. As we all know, becoming a pilot is an extremely difficult task to accomplish, but it's certainly one that is achievable. First step, obviously, is graduating from college and taking those courses in aviation or aeronautics, getting those flying hours, earning your pilot's license, and completing the test that allows you to become certified and work as a pilot throughout the course of your life. Going to class, passing every exam, studying all the courses needed for that job, asking questions about the job, about being a pilot, are all things that Anthony plans to do to get to his goal. There are many people who will help him become a pilot, but he believes that his HEOP family will help him get there. Again, another call. Who once believed, and I think still believe, that he was the right person to be in this program. He knows that they will help him and support him in his career goals to become a pilot in the future.
Be the first person.
All right, so next up, Brandon.
Who heard the fly guy?
So Brandon's goal is to work towards becoming a paralegal. He has the blueprint that is going to get him there. With the support of the HEOP program, his fellow classmates, and good ties and relationships with his faculty members, he knows that he will get to that goal. He also wants to have a minor in business. Brandon really, during his time at Damon, wants to have that firm educational background that he spoke about in his interview coming into college, and is going to work every day to achieve those goals, do his best academically, and learn from current paralegals, especially those who are members of his family. The folks that are going to help him get his HEOP family and teachers and other paralegals in that field. Let's give it up. All right, up next we have Edison. Edison. I feel like the energy died down. You all started off pretty strong. Edison's longtime goal is to become an EMT and later become a nurse. The first step is becoming a volunteer in a hospital to gain that experience. Then he will pursue that EMT certification, going through EMT basic training, which will take anywhere from 6 months to 2 years to complete. working towards that state or national level certification to be an EMT. That is in plans to work for many years as an EMT and then continue his college education to become a nurse, making sure that he completes and really does well on all the certification exams to be a registered nurse. To achieve all those steps, he's just going to have to be determined and hardworking. He will acknowledge that studying the profession's demand is required in and out of class, and he's going to need the support, again, of his HEOP family to guide him through this journey and keep him motivated. Is this last but not least? Next we have So Mikey is, his long-term goal is working towards graduation and to become a coach, on the MBA level. Mike will tell you that he has to work hard to get there and find internships and opportunities with those teams and network to get his name out there. So you and Nick need to work together to get to the big leagues, as they say. Every day he's going to continue to work hard to make it to graduation and work towards that goal of becoming a head coach in the NBA. And along the way, the people that he meets and makes connections with, both in and out of the field, are going to be the folks that support him in that journey. So let's give it up. Stand up, and I want you to just face out. So this year we have a little something extra. So now, in addition to a tie, you all get a matching pocket square. So when you put on the suit, see, I got two, but I had to work to that level. So give me this. So when you go to that first job interview, you have the full look. You can walk in confidently and know that you have everything you need to be successful. So congratulations, first semester. Here's to move forward. So yeah, let's give these guys one more round. You all have a seat. Oh wait, they want to take pictures. No, that's fine. No, we're
Everybody smile.
And then we'll take some other pictures. So to close, I want to bring back Lamarck just to offer a quick closing.
Oh,
Yeah. Hold on, DJ.
Okay, I realize that I'm the only person in between eating right now and of course just prolonging. Once again, I just thank everyone for being here today. You all made a choice. You decided to be here. You could have been doing so many other things, but it was your decision to be here, so I thank you for that. And more than that, I don't know. What else do you want me to say, Alvin? Maybe we should have a benediction or something. I don't know. So thank you very much, and enjoy the food.